This has been at the forefront of Spokane's race for mayor, so much so one mayoral candidate is looking more than 300 miles west of Spokane to search for a possible resolution. Marysville, Washington has served as a model to other cities in the state when it comes to those dealing with those living in shelters and on the streets. Nadine Woodward praised Marysville, saying the way they've handled homelessness is one avenue she'd like to bring to Spokane if elected as mayor. So we wanted to see for ourselves exactly what that would look like. For the last year, 4 News Now has led the community conversation on this issue. Now our Mayor Kawash spent a day in Marysville to see the problem in their shoes.
It didn't take me long to realize homelessness isn't just a Spokane issue. It's not just a Washington issue, it's a nationwide issue. And while this has seemed like an unsolvable problem for many states, one small town north of Seattle may just have the most reasonable solution to all of this. Right now, nearly 550,000 people in the United States have nowhere to live. They're on crowded streets, in overcrowded shelters, living in cars or camps. 550,000, nearly the same as the population of Wyoming. Think about that. The homeless population in this country nearly equals the population of an entire state. Now, what if I told you a possible answer to homelessness lies right in a town of just 70,000 people north of Seattle?
If we want to ensure this money goes to food, clothing, and shelter to help the truly tragically homeless, you can't hand it out the window, because most of the money that's handed out the window, at least has been our experience, goes to feed a drug habit.
Concern with the homelessness around Spokane has intensified with the campaign to vote in the city's next mayor. Some say Spokane's compassion has enabled the problem, made it too easy to be homeless.
When you give to a panhandler, you're giving them the ammunition to a weapon that they already have to kill themselves.
Months ago, mayoral candidate Nadine Woodward praised the town of Marysville, Washington for the zero-tolerance way they handle homelessness in their community. So we went to see the program for ourselves.
We're going to help you, but I'm hearing excuses.
It's rather simple, actually, forcing each person to make a decision on their own life.
If you continue staying here, then enforcement's going to happen, and that means going to jail.
But Marysville has proven zero tolerance doesn't necessarily mean zero compassion.
It's not a handout, it's a hand up. We want to help you guys.
Here, it's a team effort. Social workers with police as they respond to emergency calls around the city. And here, it's a community effort too. The city encouraging people to give to charity, not the guy on the street holding a sign.
Somebody can go out on the street corner, get 60, 70 bucks and feed their drug habit every night. It's a lot harder for our social worker to convince them they need to get help, because we're enabling that lifestyle.
Once the homeless are depleted of the cash which may feed their addiction, that's where this social worker program kicks in.
We'll sit down, go over what resources are available. In the meantime, I'll buy you a cup of coffee and feed you, and we'll discuss it.
The city created a fund just for moments like this. If this person shows up, it marks a sign of commitment.
I'm sure you don't want your son out here living in the woods, right? No. Okay, well, we're trying to provide you with an avenue to take care of that.
And here's where Marysville separates itself from other cities. Here's where compassion meets tough love.
We have options for you to provide you with shelter and drug detox, etc. If you're not going to avail yourself of those, we will prosecute any and all outstanding warrants, and we'll look to put you in jail for as long as we can.
Unlike Spokane, Marysville has its own city jail, allowing them to cycle people in and out no matter how long it takes.
They actually get in there and detox in jail, and you only have to be in jail a couple, 3 days to detox, right? And then they actually are in a moment of clarity where, yeah, they can get out maybe in another 4 or 5 days, but they think, do I really want to do that again and come in here and detox again? From what I understand, I've never been through it, detoxing in jail is a miserable experience.
That's the option many are left with if they choose to bypass treatment, and then many end up back out here.
Do you see any trails right there where that fence post was down? Let's try it.
Once a camp is found, the trespassers have 5 to 7 days to get out or get arrested. Spokane does have a similar program in place, sending social workers out on these camp clear routes. But why isn't Spokane's approach working?
Well, we're on a 5-day average right now on camps. Once camps are reported to 311, they're being removed within 5 days. But our problem is those camps are popping back up because there aren't enough shelter spaces open, there aren't enough treatment centers, and mental health is not coordinated in our community.
While they disagree on many other things, both candidates agree Spokane needs a different approach. Stuckert says it starts by getting more 24-hour shelters open with services like Marysville. Woodward, on the other hand, says the city of Spokane needs help from its neighbors.
It's just a matter of identifying where the programs are outside of the city. We're talking about collaborating with the county, the valley, neighboring cities that will join us in this process, because again, Spokane cannot do this alone.
Started up here where the property was cleared.
No city can, really.
Okay, so you know what I do.
While
right?
Marysville's program is seen by some as a model, there are still people in these camps. Moms, dads, sons, and daughters. An entire Wyoming worth of stories and circumstances. A nationwide issue so very close to home, and no easy answer in sight.
Carnegie Hall.
And the numbers speak for themselves. Since starting this program in Marysville 15 months ago, 100 people have gone from homeless to secured housing. Now, not everything can be perfect, so yes, there are some drawbacks. The commander of the program, Mark Thomas, says 14 of those 100 people have since relapsed and lost housing. Now, you may also wonder who's paying for all of this. Marysville gets government funding from Snohomish County Human Services, which pays for all of the rehab treatment, as well as the person's first 6 months of housing. On top of that, they have an $11,000 housing grant, which covers the incidentals, such as buying food or clothes for all these people. Reporting live in studio, I'm Mayor Kawash, 4 News Now.